Good morning students, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Venus Public School. We will be continuing with chapter 11 force and pressure of class 8th, and we have completed all the topics related to force yesterday. Like yesterday we were discussing non-contact forces, where we have discussed that magnetic force, gravitational force and electrostatic force are three examples of non-contact force, because in all three cases when they are exerting force on each other, the objects used to exert force on each other without even coming into physical contact with each other. Okay, we have discussed about two different magnets, or a magnet, or iron filings or iron nails. We have discussed gravity, and we have discussed how every object is pulled towards the center of the earth, that too even without coming into physical contact with each other. And last but not the least, electrostatic force, when the electric charges, that is protons and electrons and protons, positive or negative charges, used to come together or move away from each other even without coming into physical contact with each other. And we have discussed a very important note yesterday, that the gravitational force is always attractive force. Out of all three, gravitational force is always an attractive force. Like whenever gravitational force is working between two objects, they always attract each other. Whereas magnetic force as well as electrostatic force, depending upon they could be attractive and they could be attractive or could be repulsive, depending upon the nature of or polarity of their polarities. Clear? That means depends upon their poles. Like poles used to repel each other in case of magnetism. Like poles used to repel each other, and unlike poles used to attract each other. Similarly, in the case of electrostatic force, same charges repels each other and opposite charges attracts each other. So this is what we have discussed yesterday. Now we'll be continuing with the next topic, which is pressure today. Okay, so let us begin with some examples, or let us begin with some observations which we all might have observed, which is related to our daily life. So how we used to analyze that a force is working. Clear? Yes, we have discussed it very well. Like on the basis of its effects, the effects of forces, we will be able to understand, or we will be able to identify whether the force is working or not. Clear? Now, what are these? The two main things through which we will be able to understand are, first, the magnitude of the force applied. Clear? And second, the area over which the force is applied. Clear? Through these two important things, we will be able to understand that the force is working properly or not. Let's take an example. If I want to cut vegetables or fruits with a knife. Clear? Like suppose this is a vegetable and I want to cut this vegetable through this knife. Let us assume that this knife is blunt in nature. Okay, let's take an example of this. Okay, let's take an example of this pen again. So here we will be able to see there are two ends of this pen. Clear? This pen has two ends. Clear? Now two ends. Now this is my hand. If I'll put this end, that is the flat end, the blunt end, on the surface and push it, what is happening? Two things are happening. Number one, I am exerting a force. Okay, I am exerting a force on this pen, through which this force is exerted on my palm. Clear? Number one. Number two, some area which is in contact, okay, with this palm, some area of this pen which is in contact with this palm is exerting that amount of force. Rest of the area in this palm is not experiencing any force. Clear? From this pen. Clear? Only the area which is in contact with this palm is experiencing that. Clear? Now the effect of this, when I am applying force, is quite less. Clear? I am not feeling any pain or anything. Okay, but on the other hand, if I'll turn it up, and if I'll put this over here and again applying some force, what is the result? The result is just opposite, because the amount of force which I am applying is same in both the cases, but the effects are different. Like so, on which thing this effect of this application of force is, what is your observation on which like entity this effect is varying, on the basis of which entity this effect is varying? So it is depending upon the area of contact. If the area of contact is less, then the effect is different. If the area of contact is more, the effect is different, whereas we are applying the same amount of force. Clear? So there must be some relation between the application of force, between the force and the area on which this force is being applied. Clear? So we can take another example of it. Suppose we are using a knife, okay, to cut some vegetables or fruits. If that knife have two two ends, two surfaces, okay, two sides. First side is blunt and next one is sharp. Okay, so what will happen if I'll use this blunt side to cut the vegetable? What will happen? I have to apply more force, or if I am applying the same force, the vegetables would not get cut, okay, by using this blunt side, BLUNT, blunt side. Clear? But here the sharper side, if I use the sharp side to cut the vegetables, it is very easy for me to just apply the same amount of force which I was applying when I was using the blunt side. I am able to cut the vegetables very easily. Why this two different effects is happening? Effects of application of force is happening. Okay, so this is completely associated with the quantity, the physical quantity, which is pressure. Okay, so what is pressure? So pressure is basically the force exerted per unit area. Okay, so as I told you, there is a relationship between the force and area. Clear? So how we can define? So the effect, so as we have discussed, the effects are different depending upon the area. So effects of force depending upon the area. So there is a relationship between, so pressure can be expressed okay. So this is how we can express this relationship between the force, the area, and the relationship between the force and area will give us a new quantity, which is pressure. Clear? So what is pressure then? Pressure can be defined as the force, it is the ratio of the force applied and the area on which the force acts. Clear? Or we can say force per unit area is called, the force exerted per unit area is called pressure. So how pressure can be defined? Pressure is a force, pressure equals to force per unit area. Clear? So when 1 Newton of force is applied on 1 meter square of area, then we can say pressure is applied. Okay, and one unit of pressure is applied. 1 unit of pressure is applied. Now what is the unit of pressure? From here we can see Newton per meter square is the pressure. Newton per meter square is the unit of pressure. So pressure, unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, or it can also be this can be written as F upon A, that means force upon area. So pressure equals to force upon area. Pressure we can define it with the help of this relation, that is pressure is the ratio of force and the area on which this force acts. Clear? Or we can again define it as when 1 Newton of force is applied on 1 square meter of area, then 1 unit of pressure is generated or produced. Clear? And the standard unit, the international standard or SI unit of pressure is Pascal. Okay, Pascal, PA, in short PA. Clear? So what is the SI unit or standard unit of area? Standard unit, SI unit. Okay, let me tell you, let me help you with this SI unit, because see, there are different forms of there are different units which is using worldwide, different places, different countries, and different scientists of different countries used to use different parameters, different units for measuring lengths, weights, masses, etc. So to remove this confusion between the theories of different peoples, different scientists from different countries, scientists have decided to establish some standards among the units. Okay, so they have decided that there will be a system of unit. They have developed a system of unit which is named as international standard of units, where if some scientist in France or some scientist in India, if they are working on the same theory and they are using different units according to their countries, according to the different system of units for their countries, if they are using the same different units, system of units for the research work, then there will be some differences between among the results of different countries. Okay, because of their difference in the system of units they are using during the research. Okay, so to avoid these differences, to overcome this problem, what they have decided, both of them will be using the standard SI unit for their research. Whatever physical quantities they are using, whatever formulas they are using, they are supposed to use international standard of units. When they use SI units, then their result will be in the same units. And it is very easy for them to compare these two researches. Okay, clear? Or they can use each other's work for the progress of their research. Clear? So that is why it is made. So pressure is always measured in Pascal. So now again we can say 1 Pascal equals to 1 Newton upon 1 meter square. From this relation we can establish the definition of pressure. That is, when 1 Newton of force is applied on 1 meter of area, then 1 Pascal of pressure is produced. Clear? I am repeating. When 1 Newton of force is applied on 1 square meter of area, then 1 Pascal of pressure is produced. Okay, and mathematically P equals to F upon A. Clear? So this is the definition of pressure. This is how we can define the pressure, and this is how we can solve the numericals based on pressure. Clear? So now, as we are clear with the reason behind this different effects of force depending upon the areas, like here, if we are using the blunt side of the knife, it shows different result. Like it is very difficult for us to cut the vegetables, or we need to increase the amount of force to cut the vegetables or fruits. Whereas on the other side, this sharpened side, we have to use a very less amount of force to cut the vegetables or fruits. So there are two different results we are getting from difference in the areas. So let us take some more examples. Okay, so we will discuss the examples later. So let me solve a simple numerical through which we will be able to understand how mathematically we are able to use this formula. Clear? So we have a question, and as you know, as I told you, how we used to solve the numerical. We used to write the numerical in the form of given. Clear? Always. So let me read you the question and then we will solve it. Okay, so first of all, what they have given is, if a girl applies a force of 12 Newton on an area of 10 centimeter square, then what will be the pressure produced by her? Okay, so this is what we have, it's given to us, and we are very familiar with it, what is the formula we have learned? That is pressure equals to force upon area. And while we are calculating Now we need to understand that there is a difference in the unit. Okay, you might have observed Newton is other standard of unit and centimeter is other standard of unit. All the lengths, as I told you, standard unit of length. What is the standard unit of length? It is meter always. So we need to convert centimeter into meter. So let us put the values first and then we will convert it. So what is force here? 12 Newton and 10 centimeter is given. Okay. So what we need to do? 10 centimeter while we are converting it into meter, so 10 centimeter square equals to, while we are converting it into meter, 10 upon 100 into 100. Why we have divided it? Because we need to convert, when we need to convert 10 centimeter into meter, we need to divide it with 100. Okay, because 1 meter equals to 100 centimeter, so we have to divide it by 100. But as it is an area, so we need to divide it with 2 hundreds, that is 100 into 100, because we are converting area, that means centimeter square into meter square. So this would be the conversion. So I will be writing this over here, 100 into 100 meter square. Okay, and in this previous discussion we have seen Newton meter square. Newton meter square is Pascal. Clear? Newton meter square is Pascal. So we can write 12 upon 0.0010 Newton upon meter square, or we can say it is, while we are solving it, it becomes Pascal. Clear? So pressure equals to 12,000 Pascal. Clear? So as I told you, we have given the force, the amount of force which a girl applied on an area of 10 centimeter square, and we need to calculate the pressure, and we know that is the standard unit of length is meter, so, and the standard unit of force is Newton always. So Newton is there is no need to convert it into any other unit because it is already in standard unit. But centimeter will not work, so we need to convert centimeter into meter, centimeter square into meter square. To do this, we need to divide 10 or the given value with 100 into 100. Okay, why we are doing it 100 into 100? Because centimeter square is there. If it would be centimeter, then we need to divide it only, and we need to convert it into meter. We have to divide it with 100 only, but we need to convert it meter square, so we need to square times. We need to divide it by 100 to square times. Clear? So while we are doing it, we can write it like this, and this forms a standard unit. Okay, that is Newton per meter square, which is also equals to Pascal. So while we are solving it, we will get the answer as 12,000 Pascal. Okay, so this is how it works, this is how the formula works, and that is it for the mathematical expression and the definition of pressure. And tomorrow we will discuss some applications of pressure, clear, in our daily life. Thank you so much.